What's up, guys? Wow, I haven't filmed in a very long time. If you've been here, hey, hi, how's it going? If you're new here, what's up? My name's Shay and I make videos on productivity, self-development, fashion, all that fun stuff. If any of that sounds interesting to you, subscribe down below and don't forget to push that bell notification to be notified every single time that I post. I asked you guys on Instagram to send me a bunch of questions to do an updated Q&A because I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of questions. I know I have a bunch of new followers and I have some old followers who haven't heard from me in a while. So I just thought it was good to do an updated video of where I've been, what I've been up to, and just any advice that I want to give you guys. We're just gonna dive into it. So I will be looking over here because that's where my laptop is. What are you most looking forward to in 2022? That's a really good question. I'd say I'm most looking forward to travel. I have a lot of travel plans for this year, very exciting places I haven't been before and places I have been before. But then I have our DC trip coming up in 2 weeks. If you guys have been here, then you know I have a DC vlog from last year. If you're new here, go check that out, but I will be having another one coming out soon. We are also, get ready for it, going back to Colorado. Woo! I am so excited to be going back to Colorado, but we're gonna go to different parts of it this year. We might go camping or go out to Crested Butte and stuff like that. So very, very excited to be doing that. Later in the year, we have another trip planned. Rith is going to Nashville and I'm going to Scottsdale for a bachelor and bachelorette party. I've never been to Arizona. I drove through it one time, but I didn't get to really see anything. So I'm really excited to get out there because I feel like that's more my vibe. I'm more of a warm weather person, so I'm really looking forward to getting out there in the desert and like I'm really, really excited for Scottsdale. Overall, in 2022, I'm really looking forward to all the travel opportunities. The next question I got is, what made you start your YouTube channel? I have talked about this briefly, but I haven't really dove into it under the surface level. Basically, I started this YouTube channel because I'm a huge advocate for mental health and trauma and PTSD and just kind of all that stuff. I just don't want anyone to feel alone. And so I made this channel as a safe place for people so that if they're feeling anxious, if they're feeling low self-esteem, like something like that, I just want to be able to have a video that you can go to and watch and just feel like you have a friend there, just someone talking to you or like someone talking you through it, you know? I do feel like it started steering away from there a little bit because I wasn't doing too hot starting last year after the DC trip until November, December time-ish. So I just didn't want to be hypocritical and putting myself out there saying, oh, you need to do this to feel good, this, and this, and I'm not even doing it myself. So I just had to take a step back, realign with myself, and realign why I started this journey with you guys. So that is the main reason why I started this channel. Okay, so this next question I really like. It's name 3 movies that everyone should watch. The number 1 movie that came to mind was The Theory of Everything with Eddie Redmayne in it. I think it's on Hulu now. It was on Netflix for a little bit, but definitely check that out. It's about Stephen Hawking. I watched it by myself. I just cried. I bawled at the end. It was just so beautifully done. And then I showed it to Rith and he even was like, oh my gosh, like this just one moment hits you and it's just like, wow. Like they just did a fantastic job with that movie. It's absolutely beautiful. Second one, I recommend that everyone should watch. I really like Perks of Being a Wallflower with Logan Lerman and Emma Watson. It's based off of a book. It really touches on mental health for high schoolers, and I think that's just something that's like really super important to talk about. Going along with that, I recently saw a movie on Hulu called The Fallout. It's very important. It's about Generation Z and school shootings. It talks about the effects of that and the trauma that the kids have after and like the process of healing and everything like that. So I think it's a very beautifully done movie. I think everyone should watch it and just be a little more aware of that situation. So those are the top 3 movies I think people should watch. So I did put out there that if anyone had any questions about content creation and stuff like that, they could totally ask. And I actually got a bunch of questions about it. The first one is gonna be, where is it? What would you say is the number 1 key to success? What would you say is the number 1 key to success in your business? I would say that's hard because I could say the cliche thing of being consistent and all of that, but really I think it's thinking of your audience and what they need. You have to think about your account. If you're an influencer, if you're a YouTuber, all that, it's a business. So what service are you providing to your audience? So you really have to think about what your message is that you want to share. So I'd say the number 1 key to success is just relating to people. Yeah, that's what I would say. It is just like relating to people and what you can provide for them. If you could change one thing about YouTube or social media, what would it be? I think about this all the time, and that's another reason why I started my channel. channel was I feel like people aren't genuine enough to themselves on social media, and something I really want to try to bring forward is being authentic. I think that's a huge part of what I'm trying to put out there. I feel like there's always these standards of how we're supposed to present ourselves as influencers or YouTubers or just content creators in general, seeming perfect or like having our shit together, all of that. And I think talking about progress is a huge thing. People are always going to post their success. They're never going to talk about their defeats. They're not going to really talk about the steps getting to those accomplishments. So I think if I could change anything, it'd be more of that in-between ground that's shown more, because I feel like that's where a lot of people struggle, and that's the part that people question a lot. This is an interesting question. How is dating someone in a band? Can it be hard at times? I've always been curious. Yeah, I don't really talk about Rith much. If you're new here, Rith is my boyfriend. He's in a band. It can be hard at times with the fact that we're both kind of entrepreneurs in a way, so we're very on call with our work. We have to be very fluid with plans and just our own work. That's what kind of keeps us together though, is we understand the other person, how their career is. He could be working till 2 or 3 in the morning sometimes, but then I wake up early. Our schedules are sometimes opposite. It's something I don't think other people would understand. So I'd say that's probably the most difficult part of it, but it's fun. I feel like I've gained so much experience and knowledge being with him. A lot of experience from travel-wise, all the shows I've been able to go to, all the people I've been able to meet. I'd say overall, it's fun, but it's not easy. Overall, I wouldn't change a single thing. So I really like this question. It's, how did you initially start growing your following? I feel like for new influencers or content creators, this is a very slow process. Like when I first started it, I think I was at maybe between 400 and 500 followers on Instagram when I first started my content creator journey. It was very slow at first, but then once I became more consistent and I did start putting better quality content out there, I noticed this huge growth for me. When I stopped that last year, when I was just going through stuff, it did slow down tremendously, like a lot, where I think it did hurt my accounts a bit. I've always had like a scheduled way of doing it, and then I just kind of fell back on it, and I'm starting it up again, and I have noticed through my insights that it is increasing again. So I'd say honestly, to start growing your following, consistency, but also engaging with people. The point of social media is to be social. I was really reaching out to people, and that's how I've met a lot of my followers that I still talk to this day that I met 2 years ago. And the biggest thing to do is build a community within your audience. This one's interesting. What would you do if you didn't become a YouTuber? You know, here's the thing. I always knew I had to do something creative. And I'm also at this point where I just have so many ideas of what I want to do, like YouTube, freelancing, graphic design, social media, video editing, all of these things that I want to do. It's like not just one thing. I just can't imagine myself doing something that's not this. I just feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my way of connecting to people and helping people, is through social media. I was studying veterinary medicine for a little bit. I'd say it'd be something with animals if I wasn't doing YouTube. So this question is, when is your birthday? And my birthday is March 17th, 1998, which is St. Patrick's Day, which is coming up very soon. I'll be turning 24 this year. I am a Pisces, very much true to that. Absolutely. This is a really cool question. Do you plan your day, or whatever happens, happens? I try to plan it as much as possible, but at the same time, whatever happens does happen. Tomorrow, I really wanted to take some content pictures, but my friend asked me to go do something with her. So I'm like, okay, how can I do both? Organize, like for sure, I'm gonna get those pictures in the afternoon, but in the morning, I'm gonna go spend time with her. So I think if you're able to just balance both, it can work. I'd say more I plan my month, and then the days and weeks, I kind of just let whatever happen. But I have a general idea as to like, okay, for sure these days I know is gonna be this, and then fill in everything else on top of that. One of my favorite questions was asked, advice on self-love with and without makeup. If you guys don't know, I have a whole video on body confidence where I had a bunch of people submit questions or just stories or experiences they had with body confidence and body positivity. So if you want to see more of my responses to that, definitely check that out right there. But I'd say my advice on self-love with or without makeup is, it's a lot of just, So here's the thing, like right now, and I don't know if this is gonna make anyone feel better really, I have makeup on. Very minimal though. My hair is looking nice, dressed up nice, but literally before this, I was wearing sweats and a baggy sweatshirt. It's about just being comfortable with yourself. I wouldn't necessarily say even really about the makeup or not. I'd say honestly, makeup should be used to enhance what you already have. And again, you do you. If you wanna do up your makeup like Maddie Perez, you go for it, girl. That looks beautiful. But also, if you just wanna do a very no makeup look, that's beautiful too. I think it's all subjective. I think if you look at it as makeup is not a must, but as a treat, I guess that's a really good way to look at it. Just have a healthy relationship with it. I think a lot of self-confidence doesn't come from appearance. I think it comes from you being comfortable with who you are as a person. I truly believe that if you're just a beautiful person on the inside, that is going to show on the outside, and people are going to notice that energy. I think a lot of it has to do more with your energy and your intentions. Advice on makeup, like, that's here nor there. I think if you want to wear makeup, you wear makeup. If you don't, you're still gonna look awesome, dude. Like, don't even sweat it. I think it really does have to do with more so you accepting who you are. That's my advice on that. I'm not sure if that was really good, but I hope it helps someone. I get this question so often, and I've been like not avoiding it, but definitely not addressing it either. What kind of filters do you use when editing your photos? When I first started this journey, I did use like presets on Instagram, and you can kind of see where the change started happening. I would use a lot of presets from Lightroom. So I use Lightroom to edit. Lightroom has an app that has their presets on it, and I'm pretty sure they're free, so you can just download them to Lightroom. You have to have both apps, and then you can just place it right over them. And I used to do that, but then a few years ago when Rith and the boys were filming their music videos, they had a photographer there, and we were kind of talking about that, and she was like, don't use presets. You should be doing it yourself because it's just better that way. It comes out more to the way you want it to look. I was just like, no, they're so easy to use, all of this and that, and then I stopped using them, and she was absolutely right. I edit all of my photos myself. I don't use presets anymore. You can use a preset, but if you use it on a picture that's dark compared to a picture that's light, but it's the same preset, the photos aren't going to look the same. Compared to if you individually edit it, you can make a cohesive look within your feed. This is just a fun question. I just really liked it. Whenever you go to Dunkin or Starbucks, what's your go-to orders? I've been like, not boycotting Dunkin, but I just definitely haven't been going there as much as I used to. But when I would go to Dunkin, I would get the Charlie, and I think they still have it, but you can kind of create it on your own. It's basically cold brew with caramel in it, and then the cold foam with cinnamon sugar on top. If I go to Starbucks, it's a little different story because they have just so many different flavor options. Lately, I've been getting a cold brew with soy milk, toffee nut syrup, topped with the vanilla sweet cold foam and caramel drizzle. I posted it on a story on Instagram a few times, and every time I post it, everyone's like, what is that drink? Like, I want to try it. I don't know. It was just something I made up. The next question is thoughts while making the first content versus the thought of the present time. So I'm thinking this means like, what was my thought process during when I first started this, during now? That's how I'm interpreting that question. If it's not correct, comment that below. So I'd say when I first started, it was very much, I thought I had to put up this front, and I didn't feel very authentic posting the content. And I think in a way that's why I got burnt out, because I wasn't in love with the content I was posting anymore. Now I'm creating things that I really want to share with people that I think has more value and more purpose. So I'd say back then it was just posting the post, and now I'm posting with a purpose. And I think that's the main difference. I love this next question. It says, where'd it go? What keeps you going when things get tough in your business? Things do get tough. I feel like imposter syndrome, burnout, comparison, like I feel like there's just so many things when working on social media. I feel like it's a very competitive platform, and when you just have so many people posting the same things, you can get so discouraged if you don't get a certain amount of likes or a certain amount of comments. That number, I feel like, affects people in so many ways. Lately, my content hasn't been getting as many likes as it used to, but I'm not bothered by it because going back to the fact that it's content I'm happy to be posting. When you love something so much and you just have so much passion creating it, the validation doesn't even matter anymore. So I'd say when things get tough or when you're doubting yourself, just think about why you personally love doing what you do. It's for you at the end of the day. Obviously it is for your audience, but it's your life. You're creating this reality. I'm proud of myself for being able to create these pictures and be able to take the pictures myself, edit them, like the skills I've learned from all of this. I think you have to take a step back and just acknowledge what you're able to do. All right, I saved this question for last because I just thought it would be kind of like a little announcement kind of thing, but it's what videos are you planning to release on your channel? So I have thought about a lot. I've gotten a lot of suggestions. I'm planning to do obviously DC travel vlog. I'm planning to do maybe a Shein haul soon. I'd really like to do some videos on manifesting and just like kind of my spiritual awakening / journey. I'd really like to talk more about like crystals and how those things have helped me a lot during my rough time. So I'd like to talk more about just self-development, self-growth, self-love. I'd say that I'm swaying more towards that rather than like the productivity and home decor stuff. I think it's more aligned to the content that I want to create for you guys and share with you guys. Again, like a lot of people don't talk about that middle process of start to finish. So I just feel like there needs to be someone out there who does talk about that. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. I loved all the questions that were submitted and there was definitely more in here. I just didn't want to like make it a 30-minute video. I'd love to do more Q&As with you guys. You guys clearly loved it. I'm really excited for this next chapter of content I'm creating and just like what I'm stepping into in my life. And I'm really excited to just share it with you guys and like just what I'm learning. I hope I can help other people learn or develop in some kind of way. I can genuinely say I'm happy and excited for what's to come. As always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe right down below to see more videos and just to stay updated with me. And lastly, hit that bell notification to be notified every single time that I post. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for being patient for me during this weird time that I've been in. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.